Could you buy a business in less than 2 days? On this video, I'll show you how I did exactly that.
So about a year ago, I met with the owner of a business who wanted to sell. And she was a tough cookie. She was a tough negotiator. And she was absolutely adamant at the price that she wanted. And she said, there is zero negotiation. I want all that money. I want it on day one, or there's no deal. So we said, okay, no deal. And just to make sure that we were very clear as to what she said, she sent us an email after the meeting to say, this is the money that I want. If you're not going to give me all that money on day one, absolutely no deal. And I don't think we even replied to the email. So it was quite a surprise to hear back from that business over a year later, something like 15 months later. And what had happened was that she thought that she had a buyer for the business, and she had a deal, and we discovered it was slightly below the figure that she'd given us the year before, and the deal had fallen over. So it had got close to completion and then collapsed. And that is something that often happens with buyers who don't really know how to manage the process, or they aren't committed to the process.
Buying a business is just so rewarding, and I put together a free training showing you exactly how I do it. If you look in the video description below this video, there is a link. You click the link, you're taken through to the training, watch the training, and I'll show you exactly how to buy a business successfully.
We had a conversation with her on Wednesday afternoon, and she said, I want to sell the business. This deal has collapsed. What will you give me for it? And it was actually my colleague who was speaking to her rather than me. And my colleague just threw out a number that I think was probably pretty similar to the number that we'd paid for another business the week before, which is why the number was in her head. She didn't think it would be taken seriously because it was 5% of what the original figure was. And the woman said, yes. Okay, that's good. Let's get this down in writing. So that was Wednesday about 3 o'clock. Friday morning at 12 o'clock, the contract was signed, less than 48 hours later. Now, clearly, when you're buying a business with that amount of speed, you've got to know what you're doing. So this was an asset purchase rather than a share purchase. The amount that we were paying was so low that we didn't need to do any due diligence. The staff were automatically 2P'd over. That was very straightforward. I met with the landlord a couple of days later, that weekend actually. So we did the deal Friday lunchtime, and I met him on the Sunday night. I actually spoke to him on the Friday afternoon, agreed to meet him on the Sunday night to do everything around the lease and to agree that. So that was all done nice and easily as well.
When buying a business, you need a great lawyer on your team. So why not use mine? His name is John Andrews, and his details are on the screen.
The key to us being able to capitalize on that opportunity was knowing what to do and having the ability to move quickly. We didn't use lawyers on our side for the business acquisition. We used our standard documentation, which just saved an awful lot of time. She didn't use lawyers on her side either. We always use lawyers for the lease side, the commercial leases, because that's a lot more complex. But we got the deal done quickly because we knew what to do, we knew the process, and we could move very quickly. Now you might think, where did that 5% come from? Where did that money come from to buy that business? It actually came out of the business that we bought a week earlier. It came out of their bank account. So again, it didn't involve any of my own cash. We basically bought from the resources within the group. But as a result of being able to move fast and get a deal done. We picked up a business for a fraction of its original value.